What's poppin', everybody? This is the Cartoon Kid Ray Rawlins, and today for our first impression review edition, we are doing an episode of the Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, and this episode is called The Journey to the Center of Carl. Now, before we get into this bad boy, start breaking it down, we're going to have Mr. Alex Payne give us the episode breakdown. So tell us what happens, Mr. Payne.
Well, this episode is pretty simple, really. Jimmy, wanting to get out of school, makes a sick patch that when you put it on your skin, you get sick while you're wearing it. So he uses that to stay home from school, and all of his friends eventually see this and want one themselves. So everybody gets one. But everyone sees that, staying home sick all the time ain't the best thing because, their parents trying to make them get well with all these crazy remedies and shit. So all of them decide to take it off, but the patch, it dissolves into their skin and they'll be sick forever. So Jimmy has to go inside of Carl's body to get to get what he needs to fight against the sickness out of one of the germs.
That mitochondria.
Yeah, gotta hit them with them science terms, Carl. But yeah, so him and Shane shrink down and fly into Carl and get the mitochondria, as you called it. And yeah, that's the episode.
I gotta say this, man. I know what the one person who's now watching this probably thinking, man, these guys haven't seen Jimmy Neutron ever? And, well, Alex, you've seen it. And I have too.
I've seen it.
But the one reason why I never got hooked on this show when I was a kid was the freaking people, the looks of the characters, man. I don't know, in the animation, it just didn't feel, it doesn't feel cartoony to me, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like the normal cartoons that I'm used to seeing and whatnot. I don't know, that's just me. It didn't look like SpongeBob, it didn't look like Fairly Odd Parents, it didn't look like the Simpsons Family. It's not supposed to, but it just, I don't know. I just never liked the looks of the characters or anything like that. But now actually watching this episode and looking at it through a reviewer's lens personally, and like obviously through an adult lens, like I really did enjoy this episode. And you can't forget that damn theme song, man. I remember hearing that shit a lot when I was a kid. And I used to hate it when it came on because that meant there was no more SpongeBob coming on for a good minute. I always watch some SpongeBob and you hear that damn song. And the only thing I can remember from the song is my candy bars. That's it. That's all I remember.
Of course you would, you fat bitch.
Shut up, you whore. It's 2020. Working on the diet. But anyway. So what is your first impression if you want to go on a moments?
My first impression, because I haven't watched this show in a very, very long time. And it's funny because you mentioned animation. I would say I'm surprised how well the animation holds up for what it is.
No, it was good. It was good. It was more the look of the characters for me.
It's because it's computer generated and everything, so you would think by now it would look outdated and ugly as hell. But it doesn't look too outdated if you ask me. It still looks good, in my humble opinion.
No, it does. It does. It looks good. It looks great.
So yeah, that's my humble first impression. So if you want to get over the moments,
let's do that. Let's do that. I gotta say this with Jimmy and that damn patch. I gotta say that dude is what, if you may call him, a boy genius. Because anyone who can develop anything like that, man, it speaks to their intelligence. Because any kid would dream of having something like that now. He needs to be smart. One, he needs to make some money off that shit. And two, why is he going to give that to everyone? Like, all the teachers should have known, like, something's up. Oh, what's happening with all these kids getting sick? That kid, Sheen, too. I know I'm not going on moments necessarily, but Sheen, his voice always used to annoy me. And the funny thing is, he kind of sounds familiar. Like, he's supposed to sound like some other character that I know well from a different cartoon. I don't know why. Oh, and Sandy's voice actor was in this episode, too. But,
wait, she was?
No, yeah, she definitely was. I don't know who, but I heard that Sandy's voice in here. Since we were big on, cartoon voice and whatnot. But, I will say this. one of the moments that I love so much is when the teacher was in front of the class, basically saying that she missed the students, and then she starts doing impressions of all the kids.
I just love her friggin' random bird outburst for some like
I freaking hate.
what's wrong with her?
She did the who did she do an impression of where the kid was
She did
crying? Carl, right?
Carl, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like all the clouds get sad and they begin to cry.
Listen, that shows you what she thinks of his intelligence. Teachers, man, I believe they be doing mad impressions of their students. I swear to God. And let it be one of the dumb ones. They straight up shitting on them behind closed doors. I don't know too many teachers who do that, but everybody knows they had a teacher who probably did that, in their past school career, if you want to call it that. And when they're flying throughout, listen, you got to mention the brain joke about Carl having a small brain. It's like, oh man, is that a walnut on a stick? It's like, Jimmy know what it is. It's like, well, you know what? That's his brain, man. It's like, damn. Listen, the creators of this show just shitting on Carl. I gotta say though too, when Carl's gonna sneeze the first time, Jimmy's like, no, hold your sneeze, don't sneeze. And I'm like, man, I don't know if it's me, but if somebody tells me not to do something, I'm doing it. Not because I want to. It's just like off a reaction. You told me not to sneeze, okay, boom, fire them motherfuckers out.
That just makes me sound very immature. You tell me not to do it, okay, I'm gonna do this.
No. I said it's not because I didn't want to. Because if I could, I would. It's like telling somebody, oh, don't look at my green shirt. What's the first thing I'm gonna do off of instinct? Just, oh shit, oh my bad, I didn't mean to, cuz I'm sorry. Look at their green shirt. But as far as right now, that's all of the moments I got to mention. What about you?
Well, you took my main one, which was gonna be the teacher one too.
Oh really? But, get out of here.
Yeah, I thought that shit was funny too. The phrase. Ah! I don't think she really did any of her bird noises in this episode like that. I think she did a little one.
No, I didn't notice it. She might have. I just didn't notice it. I honestly didn't. When he did that, I'm like, what the fuck did you just do that for?
No, like I don't. I agree. I don't think she did any. I don't think she really did any in this episode. But like I think you hit most of the moments I would have said. So we could just go over on to review.
All right. Well then, let's get it. So what? I'll let you go first. Let me get a positive and a negative if you got a negative from this episode. What do you think? What is your positive? What's your negative moment?
Positive. I'll say the episode was really interesting in its idea. That's my positive.
Most definitely.
Idea. I mean, there probably has been another show that done it because it's not like
most definitely
we watched a lot of
Rick and Morty might do one soon. I'm almost sure they might do one soon. They gotta.
But so I think that's my positive. I felt the idea was really interesting or whatever, well executed. I don't think I did. So no, I don't have no negatives. What about you?
Well, you know what? I just remembered one of the moments that I have to mention. When Jimmy's dad tried to homeschool him.
Oh yeah.
You gotta listen. I have to mention that because I could feel. Listen, Jimmy was paying him no.
The bone next to it.
And yeah, and you gotta mention like the heart goes beat beat beat, and it has a red gooey thing, and it's like. See, and the thing is, I can applaud him for wanting to promote intelligence. And mind you, I haven't seen anything in Jimmy Neutron, so I don't know anything about his family or anything like that. So immediately I thought, oh, well, this is why Jimmy's so smart. He's got a, dad who knows all this shit, who's gonna help him, But no, his dad ain't shit.
No, his dad is a dumb fuck.
But he tries to promote intelligence, which is good, at least from what I can see in this episode. So big shout out to. Yeah, salute to the daddy. But Jimmy was not having that shit. He was asking him for help, and he's supposed to be his teacher. But
what's the bone hair on your knee?
I gotta say though, for my positive is this episode, for not being I wouldn't say a fan of the series necessarily, but being a first time viewer of the series, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it for what it was. Like you said, this idea of the show is very interesting, and every kid would dream of having something like that, because Lord knows I would. And like Jimmy, I wouldn't be using that shit every day or like the other kids. And he should have the fault of giving it all the patches to everybody. And granted, he did say not to say anything, but listen, kids are gonna talk. Okay, the whole fucking town knew about that damn patch and they wanted it. So if I was Jimmy, I would have kept that shit to myself. But I'll say this: I have no negatives on this episode at all. For it, me being a first time viewer, I really enjoyed it. Good idea, good flow, good fluid motion throughout the show, story plot wise. And I do have to say this, very good idea. So I'm gonna give my final rating right now. I'm gonna give it a nice 7 out of 10. What about you?
I think I'm gonna give it a nice solid. I think I'm gonna give it a 7 because I did enjoy the episode, but I listen, we all record in transparency. We all recording kind of late, and I watched it kind of late, so I think my tiredness kind of helped with my, I guess, a little bit towards my lack of enjoyment of the episode. But I
Okay.
think the episode was good overall still, though, and it had some nice, good, funny moments and stuff. So
It definitely did. It definitely did. And I'm sure there's probably like at least one or two more moments that I kind of forgotten. But I mentioned a good bulk of them. But either way, this episode was good. And especially like, will I watch more of this? Hell fucking yeah. Simply because I'm a Nick kid, man. I love SpongeBob. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender and Invader Zim on it. You know, they punished the hell out of that series in a sense, but I still enjoyed it very much. And there's a couple other good ones. I think I would even argue say I somewhat liked Robot Monster for what it was. Like it wasn't shit. It was something on late night that I like to watch. So I'm like, okay,
what
Robot
about our
Monster.
real monsters?
Oh hell no, I don't fuck with that show. Hell no, no, not at all. But I will say this. I said it 19 times. I'm gonna say it one more time, man. I got to. Very good episode. I really enjoyed it. And if there's anything that I need to be introduced to this series to, I'd rather it be this episode because it's something that all kids can relate to. And this definitely made me want to watch more Jimmy Neutron. But I'm gonna wrap it up with this, man. Y'all know what we gave it. We both gave this a 7 out of 10. Very enjoyable episode, man. I'm the cartoon kid, Ray Rawlins. He's Alex Payne, and this is the Cartoon Kid channel where we talk cartoons and we do it daily, baby. If you like this episode or you hated it, man, let us know in the comments down below. If you got suggestions on how we can improve these videos and whatnot, man, also toss them in there. Don't tell us we need new mics. We already know that shit, man. We starting from the bottom. Now we're here. So if you want, toss a dislike on the video just for that, or subscribe to the channel, man, whatever you prefer. But with all that being said, we will see ya when we see ya. Peace out, everybody.